Welcome back to Real Family Secrets. Grab your snacks, get comfortable. The people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves. They just chose wrong. Drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. You're going to love it here. My name is Stanley Morrison, and I was married to Kristen for 30 years. 2 weeks ago, at the reading of her will, her children from her first marriage received a penthouse, a $17 million company, and a yacht. I received an envelope. Inside was a one-way plane ticket to Zurich, and everyone in that room laughed. I met Kristen when I was 34, working as a high school history teacher in Connecticut. She was a widow then, already wealthy from her first husband's investment firm, already raising 3 teenagers who never once, in 30 years, stopped seeing me as an intruder in their mother's life. I never asked for money. I never touched her accounts beyond the household budget we shared. I taught for another 22 years after we married, and I loved her, plainly and completely, in a way that had nothing to do with anything she owned. Kristen passed 6 weeks ago, quietly, in her sleep, after a long decline that both of us had quietly accepted was coming. I sat with her every single night of that final year. Her children visited on holidays and called it devotion. The reading of the will took place in a downtown law office, a conference room with a long mahogany table, and a view of the city that felt entirely wrong for what was about to happen. Margaret, the estate attorney, read through the bequests methodically: the penthouse to Diana, the company shares to Marcus, the yacht, and a substantial trust to Thomas. "And to my husband Stanley," Margaret read, "I leave the enclosed envelope." Diana leaned forward, her eyes glittering. "The gold digger gets an envelope," she said, not quite under her breath. "Gold digger." The word escaped before I could stop it. "Oh, please, Stanley," Diana said. "We all know what this was. You married our mother for her money, and now you're finding out what she really thought of you." My hands trembled as I opened the envelope. Inside was a single airline ticket. One way to Zurich, departing the following morning. The room erupted. Thomas doubled over laughing. "She bought you a ticket out of the country," he said. "That's perfect. Here's your inheritance, Stanley. A one-way ticket as far from us as possible." I stood in that hallway afterward holding a plane ticket to a country I'd never visited, where I knew no one, where I didn't speak the language. 30 years of marriage, and this was apparently what I was worth to a family I'd never truly belonged to. I almost didn't board that flight. Some part of me wanted to simply disappear into ordinary grief and let the humiliation fade quietly, but something about the specificity of it, Zurich exactly, not just away, kept nagging at the back of my mind. I landed in Zurich the following afternoon, jet-lagged, grieving, and entirely unsure why I'd actually gotten on the plane. Tucked inside the ticket envelope, I found a small card I'd missed the first time, an address, and a name: Heinrich Vogel, Zurich Cantonal Private Banking. I found the bank the next morning, a quiet, unremarkable building near the lake. A receptionist checked a list, made a brief phone call, and within minutes an older man in an impeccable suit greeted me personally. "Mr. Morrison," he said, "I am Heinrich Vogel. Your wife was my client for 11 years. I've been expecting you." "Expecting me? She's been dead for 6 weeks. I only just arrived." "She left very specific instructions," Vogel said. "You were to receive the ticket through the will, exactly as written, with no further explanation given to the family. She was quite firm that no one else learn of this account's existence until you arrived here in person." He led me to a private office and opened a thin folder. "Your wife established this account 11 years ago," he said, "funded initially with an inheritance from her own mother that she never disclosed to her children. Over the years, she added to it privately, through investments her children never knew existed." "How much?" I asked, my voice barely working. "As of this morning," Vogel said, "the account holds just under $41 million. It is held in your name alone, Mr. Morrison. It always has been." I sat in that office and wept, not from the number, though the number was staggering, but from the realization of what she'd actually done. Kristen hadn't sent me away with an insult. She'd sent me somewhere her children would never think to look, carrying a message only I would understand once I arrived. Vogel handed me a sealed letter, the last item in the folder. I opened it right there, my hands shaking. "My darling Stanley," it began. "If you're reading this, then the ticket did exactly what I hoped. It made you angry enough and curious enough to get on that plane instead of simply grieving quietly at home. I built this account so my children could never touch it, could never contest it, and could never turn it into another weapon in the endless war they've been fighting since their father died. I let them believe you got nothing, because I needed them to stop watching you long enough for you to get here safely, with the account already established and unreachable by any lawyer they could hire. You never once asked me for anything in 30 years, Stanley. That is exactly why I built something they could never take from you. Go live, my love, somewhere quiet, somewhere far from their noise. You earned peace, and now you have the means to actually have it." I sat in that Zurich office for almost an hour after finishing the letter, holding 30 years of quiet, complicated love in a single page of handwriting. I returned to Connecticut 2 weeks later, briefly, only to formally decline any further involvement in the estate proceedings and to collect a few personal belongings. Diana, Marcus, and Thomas never learned about the Zurich account. As far as they know, I simply flew away quietly, exactly as they'd mocked me for doing. I live near Lake Geneva now, in a small house Kristen would have loved, close enough to the water to hear it most mornings. I still teach, occasionally tutoring local students in English history, not because I need the income, but because Kristen always said idle hands make for a heavy heart. I think about that conference room sometimes, the laughter, the envelope, the specific cruelty of being handed something they assumed was worthless in front of an audience. I've stopped being angry about it. They gave me exactly what my wife wanted them to give me, the appearance of nothing wrapped around the beginning of everything. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real family stories and tell us in the comments, do you think Kristen's plan was brilliant or too risky?
Wrist on cruise, no pressure. Your girls in the back row laughing at my gesture. You said you done with the drama, prove you better. Told you save me one dance, I'll match your tempo, measure for measure. You walk in, whole room leans your waist, silk dress, low bass, DJ press play. You say you only came out for a little escape, but the way you move said you needed this break. Talking about your week, how they drain your time. Are you tired of the boys that don't read your mind? Told you, cock out, let me set that vibe. Let your phone die out, let your shoulders unwind. You said you hate when a man just flex. All talk, no touch, just ego and text. I ain't here tryna sell you a dream, just a backbeat, hand on your waist on the beat in between. If you feel what I feel, don't fight that rush. Let your guard come down when our body brush. Let me be your all switch tonight. Turn your worries down low, turn your body up right. You ain't gotta clock it, girl, you sign off life. I'ma keep your word on mute while your smile's on high. Let me be your playlist, your late night drive. Every little note in your post sideline. We can write a hook with the way you say my name. If you give me that chance, I won't play that game.
Look, you got your own bag, you don't need my chain. You just need one space where you feel no strain. You don't care about views, you don't chase no fame. You just want one touch that don't feel the same. You like jokes in the car more than posts online. Say you love real talk more than corny lines. You the type make a man put his phone on face down, so he don't miss one look on your face. We don't need a label for the way this feels. We can keep it grown, keep it all too real. No countdown, no promise we can keep. Just you leaning on me when the room too deep. If your friends wanna leave, let them call that right. We can take one more song, let the night decide. Let me be your all switch tonight. Turn your worries down low, turn your body up right. You ain't gotta clock in, girl, you signed off life. I'ma keep your word on mute while your smile's on high. Let me be your playlist, your late night drive. Every little note in your post sideline. You can take the lead, I can move in time, as long as you don't dim what I see in your eyes.
car door open, you don't wanna go, yeah. Lip gloss faded, perfume on my chest. You say text me when you get back safe. Told you next time we don't rush this pace. Save your name with a heart and a flame on the side. Cause you feel like home with a wild inside.